so I emailed DC and Disney, saying, hey, I'm going to be in California next month, in a couple of weeks' time. Let me know if you'd like to meet in person. I'd love to meet some of you guys, and whatnot, and hopefully we can make something happen. And I got replies where they were like, oh, they were interested, but nothing was really kind of set. And so I was like, cool, like, I got some replies. I was like, maybe I'll have something happen. And so I booked everything, flew over, and nothing was booked. No meetings were booked. Nothing was scheduled. I was just like, okay, if I'm in there and they really are interested, they'll make meetings happen because I'm there in person. And so I hadn't heard back from DC or Disney about confirmation about meetings and stuff. And like the second day I'm in LA, I'm off to Disneyland, and you saw my stories where I was just posting shitloads because people on my IG were like, "Can you post as much as you can because we want to live through you?" So I'm like, "Okay, I'll post hundreds of photos from Disneyland." So I'm posting from Disneyland, and one of the Disney guys I know on Instagram's like, "Hey, dude, are you here in LA?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm here for San Diego Comic Con next week." He goes, "Okay, cool. I've got a couple of people from Disney that want to meet with you." And I was like, "Fuck!" The second day I'm there, I've got a potential meeting with Disney.
Wow.
Like the gamble paid off.
Wow.
Like all the money I spent on this fucking trip paid off. But I didn't know how much it was going to pay off until I actually had the meeting. And so I was like over the moon. I was like, fuck, yes, cool. This trip was worth it. But I'm still going to have fun. I'm still at Disneyland. I'm still going to have fun. And I've still got Comic-Con. And so Comic-Con, and so after Disneyland, I head down to San Diego, and Comic-Con's started and stuff. And I hadn't heard back from DC, so I was like, Comic-Con's been going for a couple of days now. I'm not going to hear from them. But Comic-Con's crazy. And then the Friday evening, I get an email from DC going, hey, what's your schedule like tomorrow? Got a couple of editors that want to meet with you. I'm like, fuck, whatever your schedule is my schedule. Like that's like, I was like, I will work around whatever you need me to. And so I ended up having a couple of meetings with DC Comics editors. One of them being the Batman editor. And he liked my stuff, and of course, contact details and stuff. And he was just like, "Oh, yeah, we're booked out for this year, but maybe next year we could see if we can try you on a short story and see how you go on that." I was like, "Oh shit!" Like that's like okay. I was just like, most of the meetings I've had at Comic-Con in America, there's always been kind of like portfolio reviews, which is kind of what these ones with the editors were. But these editors wanted to see me rather than me going up to an editor. Like,
all right.
So I was like, oh shit, this is a different dynamic. Like, this is actually personal, like sitting down with them rather than them sitting there and then all these artists and stuff come up to him. And so with the portfolio reviews, I'm always going, okay, I'm just wanting some critiques. I want to know what I need to work on and all that stuff, what my strengths are. And so sitting down with the Batman editor, we had a meeting for about like 45 minutes or so over lunch. And he was like, hey, yeah, in my portfolio that I showed him had my milestone initiative pages. He was like, hey, yes, I remember these pages. I was like, oh shit, like it did make an impact. People recognize it. And so yes, afterwards, like I thanked him for his time and stuff. I said, oh, thank you for your time. And he's like, thank you for being good. I was like, oh, awesome. Like, and I guess when you're an editor and stuff, you see so many artists of varying degrees of skill, and I guess it'll be like American Idol, where there'll be a lot of shit, and so like the ones that are good stand out. And so when you said, "Oh, thank you for being good," I was like, "Oh, okay, awesome!" Like, and so later on the evening, I ended up having another meeting with one of the other editors
From DC
Comics. Again, they wanted to see me because I was like, oh, I don't want them to post because they were doing the DC Comics mixer after Comic-Con. So they were at the bar that was closed down just for DC Comics employees and stuff. And they were just chilling, having drinks. And then I was told, oh, no, the editor wants to meet you. So like, come by. I was like, oh, are you sure? I don't want them to post. Like, no, he wants to meet you. So he took time out of the mixer to come and talk to me. I was just like, oh, shit. Like, and then again, I thanked him for his time because I understand, their time is precious, and I don't want to impose. And so he looked through my stuff, and he really liked my work too. And I was like, oh shit, okay, this is crazy. And Funny enough, when I talked to the talent relations manager for DC Comics, like she was the one that facilitated these meetings. She was the one I was kind of going back and forth with before I flew over. I like what she did for me. Like I can't like state how much it meant to me, because I got to talk to her afterwards, and she was like, "Oh, how was that last meeting with the last that I talked to you?" And I was like, "I think it was pretty good." Because she goes, "Did you like your work?" I mean, "Yeah, he did actually." She goes, "That's a good thing, because he's a harsh critic, and if he doesn't like your work, he will tell you. So if he likes your work, it's like, that's a good thing." I'm like, "Oh man, okay, that's cool." And then we proceeded to talk more, and she kind of revealed why these meetings happened at San Diego Comic-Con. So when I emailed her, like, "Hey, I'm going to be in California," so she's like, "Hey, can you send me some of your work?" So I sent her my work, including the pages I did for the DC Milestone Initiative. And she said that she was actually part of that Milestone Initiative. And so when I sent her my work, she was like, "Yes, I remember your work. I remember your pages. I remember your pages because they were flagged. They were flagged by the Cubit School of Comic Art." And the Cubit School of Comic Art is like the comic school.
That's
Adam, started by their father Joe.
Yeah.
Adam and Andy Cubit, the sons of Joe Cubit. Yeah, so like they kind of run it now. Since the father passed away. So so they were judging the artists for this Master Initiative. And she goes, "Yeah, I remember your work because it was flagged by the Cubit School." And she said it was flagged because the Cubit School wanted to make an exception for you. But unfortunately, DC didn't have the travel budget, to bring me over from New Zealand. And so...
is that why the America, Canada?
Well, it was always America, Canada. And I guess that's kind of the budget for regional domestic travel. But yeah, so like, and she said they did get other international entries. But she goes, "Yeah, I remember yours because it was flagged because they wanted DC to make an exception. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it happen." And she goes, "We couldn't make it happen then." So she felt she needed to make it happen now while I was in town. So that, again, just being in a space that I wasn't supposed to be in, like, paid off. Because now I've got, like, the contact details of the Batman editor and, another DC Comics editor and stuff. And, and it sucks too because, like, they're like, "Oh, send us new stuff when you can." I'm like, I've been working for Disney since I got back from the States, and I haven't been working on comics, so I don't have anything new to show you guys.